First things first, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the eyes. I'm taking the Jackie Aina palette and taking the shade Ginger on a fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on my crease as my transition shade. Now, this is a very warm tone, kind of like soft, warm tone orange color, so it's perfect for this look. Then I'm taking literally a brush that has no product in it whatsoever. It's just gonna be a clean brush and using it on the edges of Ginger to blend them out a little bit more. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Edges, which is just a slightly darker version of Ginger. I'm gonna go ahead and deepen up the crease using that one and the same fluffy brush that I used to apply Ginger. And again, just repeating the exact same steps by using different brushes to pretty much diffuse all the edges, making sure that they're all nice and smooth. To deepen up my crease, I'm going to take the shade Domination from the Morphe 3503 palette. I'm going to take this on a very small blending brush just on my crease to deepen it up a little bit. And as you can see, I'm keeping it lower than the other shades. That way these are gradients from darkest to lightest. Then I'm going to take the shade Vam from the Jackie Aina palette and place that right on my lid using a packing brush. Now, because this is more of a loose pigment, like a loose glitter pigment, I'm just going to go ahead and recommend that you spray your brush with Fix Plus, so that way it sticks to your lid a little bit better. Then I'm going to go ahead and deepen up the outer corner using the shade Credit on a really small brush. Now, I really want this color to be really intense, so I'm going to go ahead and just first pack it on, and then with a fluffy blending brush, I'm just going to go ahead and diffuse the edges very softly, just so that way I have the intense depth in the outer corner, and everything is blended out very softly as well. I'm going to go ahead and take those two shades, Hypnotic and Smoked Out, and just use them to further deepen up that outer corner. And again, doing the exact same things, just gonna go ahead and take a fluffy blending brush and just gonna go ahead and kind of pull that out into a wing. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take this loose pigment by Artist Couture in the shade Spotlight Glitz and applying that over Zam with the same packing brush, and with my finger I'm kind of gonna go ahead and rub the pigment a little bit. Something that I discovered is this pigment applies a little bit chunky, and if you rub it, it actually breaks into a more glittery pigment. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that, intensify the outer corner a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my Urban Decay Glide On Slide On pencil in the shade Demolition to create my liner. Then I'm going to take Jolt and Smoked Out on a flat packing brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just apply that over my liner and smoke it out. I wanted to create kind of like a seductive smoky liner instead of like the usual wing liner. Just taking my pencil brush and smoking out the liner a little bit more before applying my lashes from Lily Lashes in the style Mykonos. And then moving on to the face, I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty Primer, and this one is in the soft matte version because it's super hydrating, mattifying, and I personally love it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and just rub that on my skin and press it in so that way I have a base for my foundation. And for my foundation, I'm going to take the MAC Pro Longwear Foundation in the shade NC42, and I'm going to go ahead and just buff that into my skin. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of doing a mixture of patting, swiping, and pressing motion, so that way I can spread the foundation and then blend it evenly on my skin. Then I'm going to take my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the same shade NC42 with a kind of like pointed concealer brush. I'm going to go ahead and place those on the usual areas that I would highlight, and then with my beauty blender, blend the concealer out to perfection. Then I'm going to take the Beauty Bakery Translucent Powder. I'm going to go ahead and bake and set my foundation using this. Now, I'm going to be really honest, I've actually started using this powder recently, and I do like it a lot. It does soften my skin, which I do like because I have a lot of texture, and mattifies really, really well. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my Demolition pencil, again apply that right on my waterline, and take some of the other shades that I use right as my transition shade, just taking them on the lower lash line, so such as Ginger and Edges. And what I'm doing is the closer I get to my lash line, the darker the color gets. So then I'm taking Smoked Out and Jolt and applying that to smudge out Demolition a little bit to make my eyes look a little bit more seductively bronzy, smoky, if that's even a thing. Then I'm going to go ahead and moving on to the face again, I'm going to take my bronzer by MAC, which is in the shade Give Me Sun. Honestly, it's one of my favorite bronzers ever because it does have a little bit of a sheen, so it makes your skin look glowy as well. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that on the usual bronzing areas, such as the cheekbones, the temples. I'm gonna go ahead and just add some color to my face because my powder does kind of wash me out a little bit. Then I'm gonna take my foundation powder by MAC, and this one's in the shade NC42 as well. I'm gonna go ahead and use that under my eyes to further mattify, set, and cover up any blemishes as well. I also like this because it gives me a much more smoother effect too. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take my bronzer and just use this to pretty much snatch my nose a little bit more, make it look a little bit more feminine. Really concentrating the bronzer in between my brows. It does make the bridge look a lot thinner. I'm gonna go ahead and I baked a little bit, so I'm just removing the powder with my powder foundation and making sure that everything is blended out before I mist Fix Plus all over. Make sure my skin looks moisturized and dewy. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take this blush. I believe is in the shade Heated, if I'm not mistaken, because it does have a little bit of a shimmer and it's also very warm tone, which is perfect for this look. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take Whisper of Jilt and apply this as my highlighter. Now I'm using a fluffy brush, and as you can see, I'm pretty much taking it on my temples and then on a C shape all the way down. I like to look hydrated. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that on the tip of the nose as well, and my brow bone to pretty much sharpen up the brows a little bit more. Yes, I was feeling myself, girl. I was feeling myself. Gonna go ahead and also place a little bit of that highlighter on my inner corner to brighten up my eyes a little bit more. And then for the final touch, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Morphe lipstick in the shade Bloodshot with Fenty Beauty's Gloss Bomb right on top. This makes your lips look like glass, and I am so obsessed with this combination because it literally looks like a cherry. It looks so Christmassy, so holiday. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Ebony Anastasia pencil, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my beard using soft strokes just to create very hair-like fibers. Then taking the brow gel by Anastasia in the same ebony shade and use that on my brows to set them and my beard to fill it in a little bit more. And that is it for this sparkly, glamorous holiday makeup look. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, just give it a thumbs up as usual. Subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those links will be down below, as well as the products that I used in this video. So I hope to see you next time, and bye!